Welcome to the Webb Report. I'm Stuart Webb, and today I wanted to discuss a little news story that I saw. The headline is Former President Donald Trump proposes at Nevada rally ending taxes on tips. When I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, Trump said. We're not going to do it. And we're going to do that right away. First thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years. So when I saw this and I was listening to the soundbite, I just thought, what an empty gesture. What we really need to do is we need to amend the Constitution and get rid of the income tax. When you think about talking about, we're going to amend the tax code so that someone who's a waitress at Applebee's won't be charged taxes on her tips, or your local bartender won't be taxed on the tips that he gets, which is basically how he lives. It's how he makes a living. What we really need to do is to not charge an income tax on any income for anybody, because I can't really necessarily say it's unconstitutional, but the 16th Amendment contradicts the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. The 13th Amendment abolishes slavery, and the 16th Amendment makes slavery legal to a degree. So if a government can charge, if a government can take a portion of your labor, which is your wages, your income, it's not a product or a service. When you think about it, sales tax is constitutional. Excise taxes, those are constitutional. They're taxes on products and services and things of that nature. But when you're taxing someone's income, you are taxing their very labor. So let's take it back to when slavery was legal in this country. If a slave was, picking cotton, we'll say, they didn't own any of their labor. Their slave master, slave owner, owned all of their labor. So we got rid of that in the 16th, or we got rid of that in the 13th Amendment. So the 16th Amendment, what that does is it says, we got rid of slavery, but now we're going to take a portion of your labor. Yeah, we're not going to take all of it, because then it would be very obvious that we were all slaves. But we're just going to take a little portion of it, and then that little portion turns into a bigger portion, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when we're talking about this getting rid of taxes on tips, surface level, maybe for a short time, it might be enjoyed by not being charged taxes on their tips. That's if they report their tips, by the way. I worked in the restaurant industry. I worked at a bar for quite a long time, and not many people are reporting stuff there. We'll just their tips. We'll put it that way. And so we're basically, it's this tiny little empty gesture, in my opinion, that tries to pander to a certain group of people to get votes, to help them in the short term, right? It might help them in the very short term, but nowadays, even with, let's say you get rid of taxes on tips for restaurant workers or whatever, or people in those industries, the service industry, you get rid of the income tax on the tips, okay, but with inflation, they're still going to be paying $50 for a bag of apples. So it's still not great. Yeah, does it help in the interim, in the short term? Yes, I guess it does help, right? But the principle, though, of the income tax is still immoral and wrong. It's the principle. It's a principle of slavery. So what we need to do is we need to amend the Constitution and abolish the 16th Amendment, or just make a new amendment saying this: we are we are abolishing the 16th Amendment. Just make a new amendment. We're getting rid of that. That's really what we need to work towards. That does require a lot of governments to get on board, a lot of the state governments to get on board, a lot of the legislatures in order to do something like that. But that's really what needs to happen, because until we fix that, the government we're essentially slaves to a degree. We are. And the more you make, the more you recognize and realize that, oh wow, the government says that they own a good portion of my labor. That's a scary thing. So definitely kind of an empty gesture on the former president's part, and just in general, when Trump was in office, there were some surface level things. Again, surface level that appeared to help. That is true, but if we don't get rid of certain things like the 16th Amendment, then nothing will ever change long term. And because, again, you have elections, right? There are regime changes, right? So if we don't get rid of those things like the 16th Amendment and solidify them, we're going to keep going back and forth and having these issues, these economic issues. We need to get rid of that, and we also need to remember that when Trump was in office, although things appeared to be better economically for a time, until 2020, that's a whole nother thing. But let's not forget that when he was president, he did, under his administration, under his time in office, he signed off on things that added $8 trillion to the debt. And if you go to the usdebtclock.org, we're now at $34 trillion in debt. So that's not good. There's the chickens will come home to roost. There will be a day of reckoning for that, and we are experiencing that right now. With when you go to the grocery store and you buy 5 things and it's $250. Yeah, so it's definitely, people are really starting to feel it now. So I just thought that headline was kind of interesting. It's pandering to our just very base desires of, this is going to save us some money, but not actually addressing the real issue, which is getting rid of income tax, which equals slavery, getting rid of the slavery tax. We have to get rid of that. And we really need to start talking about that more, because if we don't get rid of it, we're going to continue to have economic instability with all the inflation, all of our financial problems that have arisen out of fiat currency and not having a currency or a money supply tied to a commodity of some sort. So, and then that mixed with the income tax, I mean, it's a disaster. It is, it's terrible. So, just wanted to talk about that for a second. There's a million news stories every day, and there's just so many things you could talk about. And it's hard to kind of know what to talk about when you only have so much time. But I just heard that today and I thought, man, it's just more, it's more of the same that we get from politicians. And we need to really start to address the real things that are actually going to really change our society, like amending the Constitution and getting rid of things that should not be there. They really shouldn't be there. The 16th Amendment contradicts the 13th Amendment, and I think I don't know anyone that agrees that slavery should be legal still. So yeah, it's something to think about. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Talk to you soon. Bye.